Sailor Moon Serena here, and today I'm going to talk about the hate that we used to get on this YouTube channel. Now I know we talked about this under wraps under warp many times, but the reason I want to talk about it is I actually think the hate was not really needed. Now, any way you look at it, there was really no reason for it, you know. Yes, people were entitled to their own wins and people had their own beholdings. But at the end of the day, if they didn't like me or they didn't like Dwayne or they didn't like what he was doing, they didn't have to watch it. Now, Dwayne never did anything wrong, at least as far as YouTube is concerned. He didn't do anything wrong. But he was not a flawless man. He made his own mistakes. Okay? Now, from 2008 AD to until 2013 AD, he was he was actually bullied. Well, the ultra-webbed bullied, but still was considered bullying. And people thought that he was some type of easy target, I guess. And they always thought that what we were doing on this YouTube channel was wrong, but it wasn't wrong, you know. It wasn't outlawed, it wasn't evil, it wasn't bad, and it wasn't wrong. Now, it used to be constant. Every day people used to say and do mean things. Okay? They used to always rate evil, mean, bad, wrong comments. You know, they would do it on the movies, they'd do it on the channel. And it was never needed for it. If they didn't like what they saw, they could always go somewhere else. And from 2008 AD to 2013 AD, it would just be constant. I mean, now, you might think to yourself, what did we do to bring on the hate? Did we say or do anything? No, we didn't do anything. The only thing that we were doing was I was coming on, because in the early days it was just me. Before any of the other ones would show up, it was just me. You know. So, and if that was wrong, but it wasn't wrong, and they would just keep on going. Every day. Mean comment, every day, hurtful, evil comments. And we're not just talking about the normal, we're talking about, death, people wishing death on him, making up all kinds of things, and none of it was true, And it was getting to the point where it wasn't just talking, okay? Then came the hacking. And then later on that led into the reporting of violating community guidelines. And that came later on. And sadly, that's basically where it went. And then after that, two channels being suspended, one being terminated. I mean, and in those days, there were only certain choices you could do. It was either block and ignore. Well, now it's block, ban, and ignore. And the hate was not needed. There was no reason for the hate. There was no reason for the hurtful, mean, movies. There was nothing for the hurtful, mean, bad, evil words that were being related on the movies. And there was no need for the false reporting. There was no need for that. Okay? Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, when you put yourself out there, you're going to encounter it. Sure. Yeah, you are going to encounter people who don't like what you do. Okay? But it's the type of encountering that you're never ready for. Nobody is never going to be ready for hurtful and mean and evil, words being put on their movies or on their channel or having movies made on them on that. No one's never prepares themselves for, somebody trying to get them in trouble with YouTube when they're not doing anything wrong. So it's always going to be this talk. I'm always going to talk about it from time to time, since it used to be something. It used to follow. It used to be something that used to happen, at least from 2008 AD to 2013 AD. Then it stopped. Now, what changed? Obviously, we're still doing what we're doing, but what we did. See, now we just block, ban, and ignore it. Okay. We used to respond back to these people, and I think that was probably even worse, and that's where people used to think, oh, we're the bad one, because we used to, respond back to these people and tell them they were wrong for what they said and what they did. But at the end of the day, we didn't do none of it. At the end of the day, the hate that used to follow us around, the bad, the wrong, was not needed. Okay? And I'm sure everybody knows that. And some of our old followers know what used to happen to me, to Dwayne, since they used to go through it themselves, since they were following. And I assure you, none of it was ever needed. That's about it for me. I'm Sailor Moon Serena. Hope you enjoyed this movie. Hope you liked it. Bye.